Hi again, everybody. Tony Caridi along with Jed Drenning. We do not know what the weather is going to be on Saturday, September the 5th in Morgantown, but we do know that flames will be seen in Morgantown. Liberty comes in to take on West Virginia. First ever meeting between the two schools, and you might think, well, that's just an easy check mark off, win number one of the season. It might be, but let's fill you in a little bit here on Liberty, a very good football team in its classification.
Well, traditionally, three things come to mind, Tony, when you mention Liberty University's football program. You think Sam Ratigliano, the all-time great Cleveland Browns coach who was at the head of that program for several years, Eric Green, the first-round tight end draft choice of the Steelers back in the early 90s, and, of course, you think the late Jerry Falwell. But since that time, I mean, there is a guy by the name of Danny Rocco who has built one heck of a coaching resume, who is now at the helm of that program. He'll be entering his fourth season 3 times. He's 3 for 3, Coach of the Year in the conference, back-to-back conference championships under him. And this is a guy, like I said, with a very, very storied resume. I mean, he has experience against the West Virginia program. First of all, as a linebacker for Joe Paterno at Penn State back in 1980, 7 or 8 weeks after John Denver christened Mountaineer Field in 1980, he came down here and played the Mountaineers as a linebacker for the Nittany Lions. In addition to that, he was on staff with Al Groh at Virginia, on the Virginia staff that knocked us off in the Tire Bowl. The guy has 10 bowl games on his resume. 2 of them are BCS games. He's coached at the NFL level. Matter of fact, he was on staff for the New York Jets when they pulled off that epic Monday night comeback with Jumbo Elliott scoring the winning touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. So the guy can coach. Now it's a matter of filling the holes because he's lost a lot of talent.
He's got huge holes to fill. They were extremely good last year, but out of the tune of about 23 seniors gone from this program, so they're going to be on the build.
23 seniors lost, including his starting quarterback, his top 2 rushers, one of which was Rashad Jennings, a record setter, the first kid drafted at that school since 1991. So there are a lot of holes to fill. 4 All-American spots were lost. So there are a lot of question marks coming in. The staff's been shuffled around. He lost his offensive coordinator to the Redskins. The new offensive coordinator is going to be Brandon Streeter, the former Clemson quarterback. Probably spread it out a bit more. Stitched of necessity, in part because of the new change at offensive coordinator, but also in part because he lost those top rushers.
Right. If you're Danny Rocco, the Liberty coach, you're probably looking at this one as, hey, this is my opportunity to make a huge, huge statement. And Liberty has shown the ability, if not necessarily to win, but to come close against some teams that they're not supposed to be playing against. Absolutely.
A few years back, they went out to Toledo, almost knocked off Toledo, a 35-34 count. Played fairly well against Wake Forest, and our own Jeff Mullen was very familiar with that game. He was the quarterback coach for Riley Skinner. Riley Skinner had a very productive day. So that's one thing to consider. Jeff Mullen has faced this defensive staff before, relatively intact, the same staff at Liberty, and they put up over 400 yards, 34 points, and a 34-14 win. Wake Forest did with Coach Mullen. Riley Skinner was productive, 13 to 20 or so, 200-plus yards, a couple touchdowns. So there is a frame of reference to draw from.
So, Liberty Flames, a lot more than, as you said, Sam Ratigliano and Eric Green and names of the past, a very solid football program, and they'll be in the Morgantown on Saturday, September the 5th. That's opponent number 1 for the Mountaineers. When we meet again, we'll talk about the Pirates of East Carolina. West Virginia will certainly be looking for revenge on Saturday, September the 12th, when East Carolina comes to Morgantown. Along with Jed Drenning, I'm Tony Caridi on WV, MetroNews.com.